How you doing? This is Flickerfeather, and I'm in Ybor City, in Ybor Central Square. This is near part of the square. It was part of the place where a bunch of artists would gather and assemble a drum circle. But across from it, on 7th Avenue, was a coffee house called Confusion, and I was introduced to a number of, my life changed significantly in the 1990s, primarily 94, 95, and I was inspired through the poetry slams to write a poetry book. I wrote them on napkins or whatever I could for about a year, and then a friend helped me put it together, a book, and get the words and everything, and I produced 200 books, and there's a few left. I've considered republishing, and the book is called Roadkill, Poetry of Bad Smell, and has a list of poems, and has some photos. On the end of it, just was a photograph, a black and white photograph of Ybor City's alley. It was a part that I had photographed it because I felt like it would be something that would remain unchanged, something that it was just something I felt that it didn't have any signs, it wasn't promoting any business. It was the backside of Ybor City, and I took a black and white photograph. There's a number of poems, but here's another photograph, black and white photograph. There's a photograph of me. The poem that I want to read was one of the poems in regards of Hyde Park, which is a poem called The Edge of Hyde Park. And it's on page 11. And I'm going to read it for you, and I hope you enjoy it. I wanted to record this video in the actual spot. We did in this Ybor Square. We had drum circles, and we'd done it about a year and a half, and then the authorities decided that they were going to shut the park down to anybody that was carrying a drum, and they chased me, followed me home, and we never challenged them in court on the issue. We basically tried to find alternative solutions without getting. We moved the drum circle, basically. That's another story. But I met some people involved at the Rainbow Gatherings here, and this is where it all started for me. And I was interested in arts, and so this is, the Ybor City in 1995, music was changing. We were having alternative rock, Pearl Jam, Nirvana, and all that, but there were a lot of bands that didn't make it. They didn't want to. They didn't want to be known in a commercial way. And it was a great time for music and artistry. And Ybor City at the time, we thought, in 1995, we thought this might be the next New Orleans. And, the city council changed their mind. They wanted this to be a more family environment, but it really cut the crowds down, and I think it could have went a different direction had the city council decided for an alternative direction for it. I think it could have been a much more viable commercial, larger thing. But it's all good. direction that the city leaders wanted. Here's the poem, Edge of Hyde Park. With all the passion I give you all of me, blood, sweat, tears, and hair off my head. What's left? The edge of Hyde Park. In a motel room, I hear screams through the wall of the room next to me, of a girl pleading to her John, no, no, please, please, don't, with every increasing slap against her body. A woman walks her dog with only a towel wrapped around her chest. As she falls from the pain in her hip, she reaches out to me. I give her a hand up, the shirt off my back. The dogs are fighting. I scream, no woman, don't. She dives into the dog fight to save them. Their thanks is to rip her throat open. But the local transvestite steps out of a slum boarding house to bear witness to the atrocity. Looking like a sumo wrestler in a blue polka dot maternity dress with a 5 o'clock beard and a brightly painted face. The local crack pusher has some more black voodoo. I see his latest victim as he passes me by, eyes rolled back, foaming at the mouth. Legs and arms stiffen as the zombie walks past me. I ask the police who writes out a report on the woman who smoked a cigarette through her throat. What do you think of this? His response, just another night on the edge of Hyde Park. In 1990, there's the finish of the poem. In 1995, the edge of Hyde Park, which was called North Hyde Park, is where I was living. Lived on Willow and Kennedy Boulevard in Tampa. And that was a little bit of a shady area, sort of like transvestites and artists, sort of a low rent area. Hyde Park now is sort of an upscale neighborhood and always has been, but the North Park was a bit shaky. You had break-ins, and there's different stories, a mixture of different stories, but most of it was out of what I saw in Hyde Park. And I was sort of inspired. I wanted to, in 1995, I wanted to be around artists and musicians and poets. And I was inspired by Ybor City. And Hyde Park is probably a few miles from here, probably 4 or 5 miles from here. And anyhow, this is my video, and I hope you enjoyed it. It's only one poem. I hope to give you a little bit of taste. Here's the book. Just look up Flickerfeather on Facebook or YouTube, and you'll find me. Here's the poetry book, once again, Roadkill, Poetry of Bad Smell, and I live in Tampa, near Ybor City, and I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you.